Belzhar, written by Meg Wolitzer in 2014, is a young adult contemporary novel that follows 16-year-old Jamaica Jam Gallahue. The story is set in a therapeutic boarding school where Jam grapples with her depression and enters the magical world of Belzhar to heal. The title, Belzhar, is a nod to Sylvia Plath's 1963 novel The Belzhar, which explores themes of mental illness. Plath's own struggles with depression, which led to her suicide shortly after the book's release, parallel the emotional journey Jam faces. The novel addresses mental health, grief, loss, and the power of friendship. Jam's depression stems from the sudden death of her British exchange student boyfriend, Reeve Maxwell. Unable to cope with her grief, Jam is sent to the Wooden Barn, a Vermont boarding school designed for emotionally fragile, highly intelligent teens. In the prologue, Jam reflects, "I was sent here because of a boy. His name was Reeve Maxwell, and I loved him, and then he died, and almost a year passed, and no one knew what to do with me." She clings to a jar of strawberry preserves that Reeve gave her the night they kissed, promising never to open it. Despite their brief time together, only 41 days, Jam's life feels incomplete without Reeve. She struggles with panic attacks at school and retreats into her room, her friends slowly abandoning her. At the Wooden Barn, Jam is placed in a prestigious special topics in English class led by Mrs. Kinnell, which is rumored to only be offered when the teacher feels the class has the right mix of students. In addition to Jam, the class includes Sierra, a ballet dancer from Washington, D.C., Mark, a serious student, Casey, a red-headed wheelchair-bound rich girl, and Griffin, a surly farm boy from the area. Quinnell informs the students that they will spend the semester studying Sylvia Plath exclusively, and each student is given a red leather journal to write in twice a week. Mrs. Quinnell mysteriously asks them to look out for one another. Jam feels there's nothing to write about except Reeve, and when she starts her journal, she is transported into a magical world where Reeve is alive. Overwhelmed with joy at being in his arms again, she is soon pulled back to reality, only to find that she has written 5 pages in her journal. The other students in the class experience similar journeys when they write, revisiting a time before their respective traumas. As their shared experiences bring them closer, they begin meeting weekly to discuss their adventures in the world they call Belzhar. Gradually, each of the teens begins to open up and share the emotionally devastating experiences that led them to the Wooden Barn. Sierra's younger brother, a student of hip-hop and jazz, was kidnapped on his way home from dance class. Casey was paralyzed when her mother, drunk at the wheel, crashed their car. Mark's parents' marriage fell apart due to a secret he harbors. Griffin was involved in a barn fire that resulted in the death of many goats. While Jam listens and supports them, she remains hesitant to share her own painful story of loss. Jam begins to engage more with life at the Wooden Barn, joining an a cappella group and trying cross-country skiing. She finds herself drawn to Griffin and spends Thanksgiving break with his family. Meanwhile, the 5 continue their visits to Belzhar, learning that nothing in this magical world can happen that they haven't already experienced in the real world. As Sierra, Mark, Casey, and Griffin start processing their trauma and healing, Jam continues to cling to Reeve, even though she knows their relationship cannot grow or change. She realizes that Reeve is starting to feel less real to her, trapped in the past while she is gradually moving forward, but she can't bring herself to let go of the memories of happiness he represents. As their journeys continue, Mark and Casey start dating, and Sierra believes that her experiences in Belzhar may have provided a clue about who kidnapped her brother. As they fill their journals, they all wonder what will happen when they reach the end. Casey discovers first that once the journal is full, they cannot return to Belzhar. In their final visit, each of them must confront their trauma once more. Jam faces a tough decision. She wants to move on with Griffin, but she also feels torn to stay in Belzhar with Reeve. In a surprising twist, Jam reveals that Reeve isn't really dead and he was never truly her boyfriend. Reeve was just a boy she had a crush on who would occasionally kiss her. She convinced herself they were in love, but when she caught him with his real girlfriend, she realized the truth. "He didn't love me, so I closed my eyes and killed him in my mind," she explains. Jam had told herself the lie that he was dead, and everyone at the wooden barn and her family believed it. Finally, Jam opens the jar of strawberry preserves that Reeve gave her and shares it with DJ, symbolizing that she has let go of the past. With this act, she acknowledges that she is ready to move on from Reeve and heal. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did, and be sure to subscribe. Thank you.